Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the NASL Open. Right here we have some round of 64 action. In between, in the bottom right, we have the red Terran player Roker, not to be confused with Roker. They are two separate people, so please don't be confused. This is indeed Roker, and I think he's... I looked up his stats yesterday. I want to say he's like top 5 in his Masters League, so not Grandmasters, but pretty high up there on the Master League, so definitely a good player in his own right. And on the other side of the map of Typhon Peaks, we have the blue Terran player, the formidable, the amazing mouzThorzain. Honestly needs no introduction. Of course, the most recent winner of TSL3 and had a great showing in MLG Columbus. He got to the group stages and then eventually I think lost to OGSMC in the championship winners bracket, not sure, but with that performance in MLG, he was invited to participate in Code A in Korea along with the GSTL, and definitely took advantage of that. So look for Thorzain in the GSL coming up in Korea this month. Looks like starting out putting down a barracks and a supply T-bow. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. And let's go ahead and talk about the map a little bit. This is Typhon Peaks. It is in the Blizzard map pool. It's one of the biggest maps in the map pool. There are two pretty easy expansions to take in your natural expansion, and this is your natural third, so pretty easy to take. And then of course the fourth is quite accessible as well. And something that's interesting to note is that these players are cross positions, so usually if they're close by, like close in this situation, I'm not sure how to describe it, but bottom right, top left, top left, bottom left, top right, bottom right, excuse me, but yeah, if they were those positions, these rocks would come into play for sure, because that does create some interesting timing pushes through those rocks, which leads to a lot of tank Viking play. But of course they are not in those positions, they are in cross positions, so basically anything goes here. I mean, I feel like a lot of different strategies can be used. Of course there are these narrow chokes in different locations on the map, so definitely can use siege tanks to your advantage there, but we'll have to see what these players decide to do. And is Banshee play viable? Not as viable as most maps, because if you can notice, there's not much space back here to hide a Banshee, so definitely not as viable. Marines can get back here and deal with Banshees quite easily, so we'll have to see how these positions, how this map plays out, how this affects both these players' play. This SCV trying to hide in the straw, or this I don't even know what that is, branches, trying to mind its own business, but that Marine will have none of that. And did Roker actually see this fast expansion from Thorzain? No, he didn't. So Roker only sees a barracks command center and a gas, did not see this insanely fast expansion from mouzThorzain. And back in Roker's base, it is putting a command center down as well, but putting it on the high ground in opposed to Thorzain, which he put it on the low ground, so Thorzain will be able to right away mine from his natural expansion, whereas Roker will have to lift off this command center and move it to his natural expansion. So Thorzain will probably take a pretty nice economic lead in that regard, and Roker also adding on 2 additional barracks, not electing to go for any sort of factory or starport play, at least at this point in the game. Back in Thorzain's base, getting a Reaper from this barracks with a tech lab on it, also adding 2 additional barracks, actually 3 additional barracks. So identical strategies kind of from these two players for the time being. I mean, there's a reactor instead of a tech lab, and there's three barracks instead of 4. And Thorzain coming forward with this Reaper, scouting around for any proxy shenanigans. Let's see where he is actually rallied. Oh, changed his mind, changed his rally, so he will be scouting into Roker's base. Definitely wants to see what's up with that Reaper. Let's actually see what Thorzain has seen thus far. Has actually seen absolutely nothing from Roker's base. Hasn't thrown down any scans. Definitely going to rely on this Reaper for that scouting information. And of course, if this Reaper fails, do not be surprised to see Thorzain throw down a scan just to make sure he knows absolutely what is up. Coming into the main base of Roker. Roker pulling back with some Marines trying to take out this Reaper. Let's see what he actually sees. He sees the 3 barracks and he sees a command center. That could be actually really interesting, because Roker didn't see that command center, or Thorzain didn't see that command center from Roker, so Thorzain could be thinking right now, okay, it's a 3 barracks all in, so let's see how he prepares for that. does have quite a few Marines coming out to his natural expansion. A scan does go down from Roker. Let's see what he actually saw. He saw 3 racks as well and doesn't see the command center. So potentially both these players could be thinking that they're all inning each other, which is actually quite hilarious if you think about it, because they are both actually expanded and mining from their naturals. So pretty hysterical situation going on here. Looks like Roker continuing to produce Marines and Marauders out of those barracks. Also putting his command center down at his natural expansion. Let me look at the income tab really quick. Thorzain is ahead in Harvesters 32 to 26. And keep in mind, he did have this natural expansion a little bit before his opponent. So definitely explains that economic differential there. And it looks like Thorzain has so many Marines here, not electing to go for any Marauders whatsoever, just getting those tech labs for those combat shields and for the stim. I think stim is in fact completed. Yes, it is. And it looks like Roker wants to do a push across the map here. His stim is not yet completed. Pretty interesting to note, but it looks like combat shields and stim are about to finish, so definitely trying to do some sort of a timing attack here. And Roker coming forward with all of these Marines. Thorzain trying to spread out as much as he can, trying to get the best concave possible. And here we go, Roker advancing forward right into the concave of Thorzain. Thorzain does stim up, and Roker's stim is not done yet. It is about to finish in like a second. Oh, Roker's stim just now finished. So Marines, you can stim now, except you're dead. So Roker's stim just now finishing, and definitely losing a lot of units there. Stimming up finally with his 4 lone Marines, but will that be enough to deflect this aggression from Thorzain? I'm not so sure. And will Thorzain just elect to push down the field, stimming forward 2 Marines to try to take care of these Marines from Roker, coming forward, drawing them into the rest of his army. Thorzain looking really good right now. Let me look at the units tab really quick. Up ahead, 16 Marines to 8, and Roker doesn't have any bunkers here either, so Thorzain could do a lot of damage here. Probably will go directly for that mineral line and eventually get cleaned up by Roker's Marines that he has on the high ground here. Trying to run away is Roker from those Marines on hot pursuit, but deciding to turn around with those SCVs and take these Marines out. But it's safe to say the damage has been done. If you look at the supply count, 70 to 57, 51 to 32 Harvesters, and in the units tab, 15 Marines to 13. So the Marines are quite similar. Actually, the Roker I should say, has 2 Hellions, but keep in mind this economic advantage from Thorzain at the moment, already taking his 3rd base. So Thorzain expanding absolutely everywhere, has another command center going down. Buildings being constructed everywhere. The SCVs are going to work. Barracks. So a barracks, and a starport, along with a reactor going onto that factory. A Vespene gas being taken. +1 weapons on +1 armor on the infantry. Also adding an additional engineering bay and an armory. So Thorzain going absolutely everywhere with his tech, and immediately taking his 3rd. So Thorzain really looking good in this game. Does Roker even have a 3rd command center out on the field anywhere? No, I do not see it, and it looks like Roker wants to advance forward with this army. Has quite a few Marines, Hellions, and Medevacs. Will it be enough, though? An engagement is happening in the middle of the map here. Thorzain losing all of his Marines, so probably losing sight of his Marines for a temporary time there, and it could be in a little bit of trouble here. I mean, let's look at the units tab really quick. Only has 6 Marines right now. Thorzain, where are your units? Only has 6 Marines to the 27 of his opponent, and actually Roker could do a lot of damage here. Thorzain needs units ASAP. 2 medevacs will not be enough. Roker charging forward with these Marines and Hellions, has to be thinking to himself, where are Thorzain's units? Thorzain's forced to pull all of his SCVs to try to deal with this aggression from Roker, and Roker just cleans up all those SCVs at the natural expansion of Thorzain. Thorzain perhaps getting a little bit greedy here, has plenty of money, but no units on the field. Still looking at the unit tab, 6 to 25. So Thorzain definitely on his back foot here, down 90 to 65 supply. Could we see Thorzain lose a game to a potential no-name in this NASL Open round of 64, which will equalize the series 1-1? I'm not so sure. Ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a huge deal. Roker just cleaning up the natural expansion of Thorzain, and Thorzain is now down 93 to 71 food. Roker has 34 Marines on the field, 3 medevacs, and 5 Hellions just going to town on the natural expansion of mouzThorzain, and Thorzain has amassed a decent-sized force here at the natural expansion. And here's possibly the final engagement of the game. Thorzain coming forward, stimming forward all of his Marines. Will it be enough? I'm not so sure. The Hellions doing so much splash damage to all these Marines, and Roker able to clean up that army, and also reinforcing with plenty of Marines, advancing to the natural third of Thorzain. Thorzain rebuilding his infrastructure, has 4 barracks going down. and Thorzain is down 90 to 53 supply. Thorzain coming forward once again with a lot of his Marines here, does not want to lose at this point in the game, backing up once again, but caught from behind by some reinforcements from Roker, and Roker continuing to spew Marines across the map into Thorzain's natural and his third. Ladies and gentlemen, my heart is beating so fast. Will Thorzain lose a game in the NASL Open? I'm not so sure. Is down 98 to 59 supply. Keep in mind he does have a mining base over here, not quite saturated though, and Roker coming forward with all of these Marines continuing to reinforce down the middle of the map. Probably will clean up this natural expansion. He is 0-0 to the 1-1 of Thorzain. Thorzain coming forward once again, has the upgrade advantage. Will it be enough though? I'm not so sure. He is down 101 to 46 supply, as there's the GG from Thorzain. So no-name Roker takes a game off of super powerhouse Thorzain, and the series is tied 1-1. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Will Thorzain fall this early in the NASL Open? Stay tuned. Call your friends, call your family, call your mom and dad, tell them to watch the NASL Open. We will be right back with Game 3 in between mouzThorzain and Roker.